Ghost Recon Wildlands. One of my favorite games since I was 7. Yeah, you heard me right, 7. This game came out in 2017 and it's still an absolute hit. Unfortunately, though, it's dead. But what is Ghost Recon in 2024? Well, it still has the same old feel to it. It's still the amazing game where you can drive your Lamborghini around, you can fly your helicopter around, or fly planes for the rebels of Bolivia. But it's dead. You can't really do the same things you used to be able to do, like randomly join people's lobbies and mess around with helicopters trying to shoot everybody that you see. Because it's dead, matchmaking takes forever, and you end up not even getting connected with people. In fact, I'm pretty sure Ubisoft has completely shut down servers for this game, making it next to impossible to log into another game with someone. In fact, the other day I was trying to play on my Xbox and play with an Xbox friend who I also saw was online, and I couldn't, even though we're on the same thing. I don't know if this is a Ubisoft problem or maybe it's a problem on Xbox Live, but something's definitely up, and it just proves that this game's dead. But over the next week, I'll be trying to prove that this game's dead, and it shouldn't be dead. Or I'll be trying to prove that this game's dead for a reason. So, what is Ghost Recon's Wildland? Well, it's basically a game where you're a US operative sent with a task force to eliminate the Santa Blanca cartel. The Santa Blanca cartel illegally manufactures and sells cocaine to the US. Your goal is to halt production and kill off this cartel. You were sent with a woman named Bowman, who is a CIA operative supposed to give you intel. You're also teaming up with the rebels led by a man named Pakatari. They're trying to restore Bolivia to what it once was before the cartel. The Unidad are these people marked in purple. They're more armored, more advanced, and have better weapons than the normal Santa Blanca cartel, making them a pain to deal with. They also have another factor I'll mention later. Now, as you can see, in this mission, my goal is to get coordinates to where a major cartel leader is staying. In order to get those coordinates, I have to sneak into an Unidad base, which I'm doing now. Unidad bases can be a little tricky sometimes. They have usually fences around them and have guards always on patrol. Now, this is the next factor with Unidad. As you can see in this clip, you can wallbang, just like that. It goes through the wall and into the person, killing them. In this clip, I try to do the same thing, and my cover's blown. He immediately recognizes he's getting shot, fires off a shot, alerting the whole base and sounding a siren that I was in. Because of this, I just immediately sprint over to where I need to complete my mission. As I get the intel, I get the locations for where the cartel leader is staying. But as I turn to leave, I get an Unidad patrol alert. Now, this is that factor I was mentioning. Unidad can get very tough at times. They like to do this thing where they send waves and waves of enemies to try to kill you, make you leave. Or make you leave. Now, this can make them a pain to deal with. A level 1 Unidad's probably not enough to kill you. A level 2 will be a challenge, but it's not a hard one. A level 3, it's a fight. A level 4, that could be a challenge, if not imminent death. This is kind of why I hate Unidad. And not to mention, they're pretty much fully armored, making them impossible to shoot with small arms. Now in this clip, I'm going to capture a cartel head. Now, cartel heads are how you get to the main boss, Sueño. Sueño is the leader of the Santa Blanca cartel, and he basically runs the whole operation. But underneath, he doesn't really run the whole thing. He uses his underbosses to do his dirty work for him. In this case, this is El Way. Now, El Way, he's a production guy. He puts chemicals into the cocaine to make it better. Our goal, get that cocaine from stopped being made. So basically here, we're trying to capture him to get his production stopped. There's one more thing I'd like to mention, and one of the reasons that the game possibly could have been killed off is repeatability. It's not the developer's fault, but it has the same storyline and the same missions, which is fine. It's what Call of Duty does, and Call of Duty still feels nostalgic, and it still has an active player base. Except in this one, because there's so many missions that when you do them, they all kind of blur into one, and then when you do those missions, they kind of all feel the same and boring. Or at least that's kind of what this felt like for me. I feel like I've done this a million times with lieutenants or material convoys. I don't know if it's just me speaking, but this would definitely turn me away from the game. Or experts on the game, let me explain what I'm doing here and why we're doing it. Now, we've already blown up all his factories, labs, and mines, so there's no real point in killing him. We'd just be killing someone innocent. And as we all know, the US would never do that. Now, as you can see in this clip, we're taking him to Bowman so she can get information out of him, so we can use him instead of killing him in cold blood like you do to the rest of the bosses. Mainly, the reason we're keeping him is he's kind of useless to the cartel, but he's not useless to us. So basically, after completing that, I decided I was going to continue to go after production, but after trying to fast travel there, I realized it was going to be way too far away. So I immediately fast traveled there just to find out how absolutely incredibly far away I was. So instead, I decided that I'd just stay where I was in that place and steal a helicopter, like you always should do. So I killed a few people, and then we got a helicopter. Now, you can really see the usefulness of wall banging, especially for that sniper that was behind that wall. My AK bullet went straight through it. Now, basically, I had located a nurse who needed help, and basically she had been providing people with help for free in Bolivia. So when the Santa Blancas found out, they decided that they needed to shut her down because of basically some illegal things she was doing. So anyway, they came to shut her down, and I had to fight. Now, I was in my helicopter, thought I was chilling. I was kind of having a struggle trying to kill the guys on the ground, so I decided I'd do a little rotation, which I almost clipped the tree and died. So then I realized it was probably time to get out of the air, but then I saw a rebel Santa Blanca car pull up. So I immediately lit that man up, started pop. He dead, that motherfucker dead. Yeah, damn it, gingerbread man. So anyway, I killed him, and I was like, okay, car dead. So I go down, and as I'm going down, mission over. That's it. So then in the next bit, I thought I had fired shots, and the cars over there had heard it, and I thought they were coming to me, but then I realized that they were actually going to the doctor. So I quickly hurried my way over there, and absolutely bombed that jump. I then stuck around and killed all the Santa Blancas that had just popped out the car, but unfortunately another car pulled up, and I died. Though I got back up and kept fighting, and then I missed a ton of shots, which I don't even know why I put that in. And then I went to talk to the doctor, who I thought she was good. And then I got in the pickup truck, and I thought she was like a teammate, so she just spawned in the pickup truck, because the blue people, they'll just teleport to your car. But I guess she just stood there, and I ended up finding that out later when I failed the mission. So I drove straight back. I took a different route this time, but it was fine in the end. I talked to her again, and we went back out. We got in another car, and I would never ever forget her and then have to go back. And then finally I got her to the doctor, where she went in, and then I guess the whole army tried to come, and I shot him dead, like I ain't gonna let her get hurt, because I thought she was good. And then I started shooting up the Santa Blanca, but this minigun's not working out real great, so I switched to the good old handy, old-fashioned AK-47 with drum mag, good old-fashioned. And And then in the end, with 4 seconds left, I complete, and I'm waiting for her to go, but still thinking she's a good person. I'm like waiting for her all politely and like, going and taking it very gentle as not to hurt her or anything, 'cause she just got a gunshot wound to the stomach. And then we go to extract. And that's when I found out we were handcuffing her down to the seat because allegedly she actually works with Santa Blanca and not the rebels. So it turns out I'd been nice to like a prisoner the whole time, and because of that, I had redone the mission 3 times for her, even though she was the enemy at the end of it. But anyway, after that, I decided to take a break and then just react to some YouTube videos on Twitch and ended it off. And of course, if you ever want to watch my Twitch, you can go to the link down in the description and I'll plug it at the end. So anyway, farewell. See you tomorrow. And always consider liking because these videos do take me about half my day to complete and edit. So I'd really appreciate it.